Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Arcanum. Mr. Drake is set to descend down the secret passage with the fleeting hope that the father is a bit less long-winded than the son. Fat chance of that.
What? Who dares disturb the exile of Thunder Stone?
Forgive me, Your Highness, I had no choice but to...
Quiet. This insolence is unforgivable. The violation of my ancient right for solitude in exile is not broken so easily. Your life hangs in the balance, stranger. Speak quickly, lest you taste of the fury of Harrow.
Wait a moment, I come here with the blessing of your son.
My son? Randver? He would dare permit such an affront? I've come here to writhe upon the blade of my sorrow, to live the thousand deaths by the ancient right of kings. These laws are passed down through the mountain from the beginning of remembered time. Your life is forfeit to them, as is my own. Do you understand?
Wait, I come with news of the Black Mountain clan.
What? How do you know? Speak quickly. Your life still hangs in the balance.
Fine, I've a story to tell, and yet again Mr. Drake tells the entire story.
I've no words, no words. My crime, it seems, is even more heinous than I thought. I deserve much worse than this mere isolation.
Loghaire, I need to know exactly what happened.
In all the time since the judgment was passed, I have never spoken of it. My shame has held my tongue. It seems that very shame shall now, finally, bring the betrayal to light.
Please, these elves who approached you, who were they?
A delegation of elves sent from the Silver Lady herself. They came not long after Bates had built his first steam engine. Technology in the hands of the human had spread and advanced at an alarming rate, and the elves were hit first and hardest.
How? What had the spread of technology done to the elves?
Their forests were being cleared with the help of technology. Massive steam-powered clear-cutters. The oldest groves, towering and untouched for thousands of years, were being destroyed without prejudice. I saw much of this with my own eyes. The ancient forest of Morbahan is little more than a graveyard now.
Why did technology spread so fast among the humans?
There are many reasons. Humans, in comparison with the other races, live such short lives. Because of this, I believe that every human action is motivated through fear. The fear of death. You would think that this was a relative issue, that humans would learn to live with this limitation and accept it. This is not true.
And
Therefore, humans, when confronted with any situation, see it through the veil of their own mortality. Achieve, advance, perform. Humans are constantly driven by the shadow of their own death. This fear, unfortunately, clouds their judgment, deadens their sense of right and wrong. Humans act first, think later, and feel last of all.
And in terms of technology?
When Bates was given a look at our technology, he was overcome. As a human, his first thought was, what can I use this for? When it should have been, what is the cost of its use? Technology exploded in their hands because they are not burdened with our longevity. Humans rarely live long enough to see the consequences of their mistakes.
Were there elves living in the forests of Morbahan?
I'm unsure, but I don't believe so. But the delegation said that the crimes were against all elves. You see, elves feel a very strong connection to the world, to nature, and especially to forests. It's said that elven souls reside in the oldest trees. I don't know if this is true, but I do know there to be a strong connection between living things and magic.
You mentioned the Silver Lady. Who is she?
The Silver Lady is Mother Queen to the elves. She is very old, much older than I, and very powerful in the ways of magic.
And she was angered by what had happened to the forests?
The delegation told me that she was extremely hurt and angry about the damage that had been done. According to them, because of her age and power, she was hurt the most by the clearing. Her connection to the forests was strongest of all.
Have you ever spoken to her directly?
No, I'm not sure if any but elven eyes have ever been laid upon her. Over the years, we have corresponded through messengers. Elves and dwarves are very different, and we tend to stay away from one another. But our relationship, as culturally strained as it may be, has always been civil. We don't necessarily understand one another, but we've always respected the differences.
Where does she live?
In Kintara, the oldest city of the elves, somewhere within the Glimmering Forest.
What exactly are the major differences between dwarves and elves?
I've said before that there is a strong connection between living things and magic, and the magic flows the most strongly in the veins of elves. Dwarves are very different. We feel a strong connection to the earth, but in another way. We love those things which are eternal, unchangeable. Earth, stone, metal. In those things are strength, but not life as you know it.
And the elven delegation? What did they demand of you?
They said that if the Black Mountain clan was not punished, there would be war. War! I told them that a punishment was already being decided upon, and that we, as dwarves, would deal with them. They refused. They claimed rights as the afflicted, and therefore as the judges. They agreed that exile was a suitable punishment, but they wanted to be the vessel of that retribution.
Are the elves a warlike people? Is it in their nature?
No. I know that there was a time of violence many years ago among the elves. But from what I know of them, they are a very rational, peace-loving people. They know that ultimately, war benefits no one. I was very surprised when they came and threatened it.
I see. There seem to be some inconsistencies here.
Yes. The more we talk about it, I begin to get the same feeling. Yes, the elves would have been angry, but would they really have threatened war? Morbahan was a tragedy, but directly affected none of the elven communities. Perhaps my fear blinded me to such things before. And now this mystery. Where are the dwarves of the Black Mountain clan?
What was it you feared, Loghaire? Why agree to their terms?
I am very old, stranger. You may know nothing of me, but believe me when I tell you that I've seen enough dwarven blood spilled to fill 1,000 lifetimes. Have you any idea what it would mean for there to be a war between the elves and the dwarves? Arcanum itself would not survive the conflict. And I was so very tired of filling tombs with the bodies of my people. But nothing. I chose to spare the dwarves, the world, the price of such a war. What was one clan's honor in comparison with the sheer cataclysm that would result otherwise? You ask what right they had? None. They merely forced a choice, and I chose the path of least resistance, the least pain. That was my betrayal, stranger.
What do you mean? You were merely acting out of concern.
But that is the point. I am king of the dwarves. It is my responsibility to lead them, to protect them. But most importantly, it is my responsibility to defend their honor, their dwarven honor. By allowing my own fear or concern, regardless of how justified that fear might be, to overshadow their honor. was an unforgivable transgression.
Being a king isn't always easy.
Even as king, the choice is never mine as to whether even one dwarf is stripped of his honor. I should have brought this to the people, or just flatly refused from the beginning. I was a coward, a failure, and this exile is my punishment. Given the choice now, I would have waged war against all of Arcanum to uphold the honor of that foolish little clan.
I know. That's because your stone is still true.
What? What do you know of the nature of Dwarven stone? You, an outsider. How could you possibly know of such things?
Ranver put his faith in me. Perhaps you could as well.
Perhaps, but you are not even a dwarf. These are beliefs and concepts it takes a lifetime to reconcile. How could you possibly begin to understand how I feel?
I know that it's difficult to live by both stone and shape.
Yes, I know. I've thought long and hard about this. Dwarven stone tells me that any transgression against our honor is unthinkable. But my shape, as king, as their father, told me to protect them. I'd shouldered so much of their pain, I could do it no longer.
But isn't part of life defining that shape, learning from mistakes?
Yes, your words sound true, stranger. I know that no man is flawless. But I also know that each man's load to bear is different. A larger load carries more responsibility. Mine is heaviest of all. Therefore, the price for my betrayal must be the most costly.
What is the nature of that betrayal?
The nature of the betrayal? I failed my people. Isn't that what is most important here? The betrayal was against their stone. It seems, sadly, that my own stone is flawed.
No, that was Loric's flaw. Yours is a conflict of shape.
You shame me, stranger. Your words are harsh, but undeniably true. Perhaps you are correct, but it doesn't change what I've done, nor the price I need to pay. It is best if you just leave an old dwarf here to rot. It is your place to right this wrong.
No, you must pay the price. I can't do this for you.
How then? How can I do so?
You must return to your people. Be true to stone and shape.
By Elberic, you are right. I've been blinded by my own shame and not seen the true betrayal. I've betrayed myself and my people along with me. I shall return, stranger. I shall be king. By the name of Thunderstone, I swear it.
Alright, and this conversation is going to go on for a bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the video here. So, as always, thank you for watching and please stay tuned.